What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to share with you an idea for a Battlefield game that I have had for a while. Well, and by a while I mean like a few weeks. Anyways, the title, this and the story. The game would be called, Battlefield Uprising, Battlefield Revolution, something like that. And if you haven't guessed already, you can kind of see where this idea is going, unless you're a little slow, it's okay, little Jimmy. You'll catch on. The story. In the distant future, about 70 years, the United States, China, and Russia have formed an alliance. And that's a lit emblem. Nah, my bad. Someone coming back? Oh, my bad. I thought there was people here. Okay, they have formed an alliance. They somehow got their shit together and decided to all be one happy family. And this game would connect with Battlefield 3, 4, and 2142 and Battlefield 1, because I think Battlefield 1 is part of Battlefield 3 and 4's chronology. So it would kind of be set before 2142. But like, what, 50, 60 years after Battlefield 4? Which actually isn't that far off. Anyways, and I'm very inspired by the Final Stand DLC, as we can see that, like Russia's already advancing, for the next generation or whatever the fuck. Things like hover tanks and all this cool equipment. And that would come into play into this game. Now, the maps. This game is not holding back at all. Like, we could have tons of maps, different locations. This wouldn't be hardline where it's just restricted. Holy shit, where it's just restricted to like one country. It's just because Battlefield Hardline was just urban fucking areas. Like, it gets boring after a little while. So we could have tons of maps and all these locations. We could definitely have remakes. Shit, we could have maps from Battlefield 4, 3, all that. Fuck it, let's get Operation Metro another time around. A third time around, there we go. Lost my words. So yeah, tons of maps, tons of all that shit, Destruction, great graphics, all of that. This game's not holding back. The modes. It would have pretty much every mode from Battlefield 4, some of the new ones from Battlefield 1, for example. Operations, we could bring that into it. Okay, just tons of modes. Conquest, Rush, Capture the Flag, Domination, Squad, the Squad modes, Squad Deathmatch, etc., etc. Air Superiority, Tank Superiority, all of it. And you're probably wondering, how would that work? And I'm gonna explain it to you in a little bit. Tons of modes, it's again not holding back. This isn't Battlefield 1 that barely has any modes. Maybe because the game just came out, maybe there just isn't any modes. I don't know. It would feel, full. Tons of content. Hold up. Let me shoot down this bomber. Ha, just kidding. That's not gonna happen. Anyways, tons of game modes, tons of maps, remake maps. Because again, it would be part of Battlefield 3, 4, 1, and 2142's chronology. Now for the guns, the weapons. Again, tons of weapons, but I kind of don't want there to be like an extreme amount of guns like Battlefield 4, because the amount of guns in Battlefield 4 at that point, most of the guns are just copy pasted stats. Tons of guns, and there would be faction specific guns. I want to bring that little aspect back, kind of like from Battlefield Hardline, where the cops could use a specific gun as opposed to the robbers that could use a specific gun. Hold up, let me just expose this dude real quick. Oh gosh. Die. Oh wow, I tried, guys. Okay, so there'd be faction specific weapons. Now let me get into detail with that. The Empire, quote unquote. I don't want you to think it's Star Wars, but that's the basic premise. The Empire. Their guns, their vehicles, their equipment, it's brand new. It's factory made. Right off the assembly line. And for customization, I would kind of bring back a big. I want customization to be heavily emphasized in this game, and you'll see in a bit. For the Empire, you know, the vehicles, there would be the standard customization, and you know, I really want the Battlefield 4 system. There's like tons of camos, pretty much. There'd be tons of camos, you know, emblems, patches, little things like that. You know, just look basic, you know, military paint jobs, all this kind of stuff. And now here we get into the interesting part. The rebels. Their weapons, their vehicles, they're all either stolen or they're civilian weapons, civilian vehicles. And the customization would come into play here for sure. For the rebels would have like a variant type system, kind of like Battlefield 1, where it's like a factory, trench, stuff like that, but a lot simpler. So there would be a factory version of every single rebel gun, you know, like brand new AK-47s, you know, brand new guns. Like there would be a variant for every single weapon, and there would be a factory version and a repossessed version. And the repossessed versions would be, you know, guns picked off from the battlefield, you know, where they're worn down, they're a little broken, a little rusty, you know, things like that. Let's not worry about the realism of it, but that's how it would be. And the guns on the rebel sides would be highly customizable. I'm talking like, you know, obviously like pre-made camos that DICE has made, and a whole camo creator, sort of like the paint job system of Black Ops 3, but totally in depth. Shit, you could have like a whole pink neon gun if you want it, you know, and you could add stickers and little emblems, and like really make it your own. So I saw the repossessed guns would work. Very customizable, but they're very broken, beat up, you know. For example, you have a repossessed AK-47, you know, with a Cobra sight, and the attachments would have the repossessed and factory new versions of them as well. So a repossessed Cobra sight, you know, maybe the sight has a little crack in it. I'm not sure if it would still work in real life, but let's not worry about it because it's a video game, you know. Maybe the Cobra sight would have a little crack in it. You know, it's a little dirty, a little rusty, a little chipped off, a little broken. And then we could have different reticle options, very customizable reticles, sort of how like how Call of Duty does it. But let's not take it too over the top. You know, pretty standard. You know, maybe like a little circle instead of a little cross. So that's how that would work. Every attachment would have a repossessed factory new version, and they'd be highly customizable. As well as the attachments would be kind of customizable again with the variants. All the repossessed variants would be a little broken, a little dirty, you know, a little battle worn, because they're just picked off the battlefield and stolen, stuff like that. And yeah, there would be a big amount of guns, you know, not too many, but just enough so where DICE can properly balance them and make them feel unique. Every gun would have a little niche. And now to the vehicles. Again, same thing, you know, factory new and repossessed, but the rebels would have repossessed vehicles by default, like obviously, and then the factory new vehicles would go towards the Empire. And again, the rebels vehicles, they're stolen military vehicles, you know, customized, you know, painted over, you know, it's unique. Again, there'd be a whole camo creator for it. Very customizable. They would be a little broken down, a little worn down, you know, and it would be like vehicles and stuff from the different militaries, from like the Chinese, US, and Russian militaries, you know, all those kind of vehicles. And so it wouldn't feel like both sides just have the same vehicles, but just, you know, the rebels are just broken down vehicles, whatever. The rebels would have like, you know, homemade stuff like a Ford F-150 with a MG on the back, and you know, little plates of armor on the sides, and like little homemade tanks. And we could even go a little further and have the rebels have like fixed up World War II tanks, or like modern day tanks, because again, this is going off the Final Stand DLC, that sort of thing. So the Empire actually has, you know, hover tanks and shit like that, and the rebels are bumming. And this isn't overpowered, because as we see in the Final Stand DLC, we have the hover tanks going up against the tank tread vehicles, so it wouldn't be overpowered. So they have that. That's what I meant by modern day tanks, or like World War II tanks. Let's make it interesting, you know. Obviously, like a modern day tank would probably shred a fucking old World War II tank, but let's not worry about that. Or hell, even like a World War I tank. You could have the fucking land ship from Battlefield 1 come back, something like that. It's very, very interesting. So we could have a bunch of different vehicles, homemade vehicles, you know, fully customizable, customizable English, do I speak it? Fully customizable vehicles. Let me get the fuck out this train before I die. Fully customizable vehicles, stolen vehicles, you know, like a civilian chopper with little machine gun turrets on it, that kind of thing. Or like a civilian plane with, again, machine guns on it. And nothing crazy. I'm not saying let's put fucking heat-seeking missiles on a police chopper or something. Just something like that. That's where the stolen military vehicles comes into place. So it wouldn't be overpowered. You wouldn't have like a high-grade military jet with heat seekers and everything, like just destroying these little fucking civilian planes, because they would shred them in an instant. So that's where the possessed stuff comes in. Everything would be fully customizable, and there'd be tons of variety. Like in the vehicles, because there would be vehicles of Chinese design, and Russian design, and American design. And same with the equipment. There's like factory new equipment, you know, the basic standard things, but a little bit more futuristic. Heartbeat sensors, cloaking devices, stuff like that from like 2142. And other things, you know, C4, that kind of stuff. And the rebels would have, you know, the same stuff, but also stuff that's a little bit their own, like homemade pipe bombs and fucking fire extinguishers that blow up or whatever, you know, little homemade IEDs, things like that. And that's the big theme, like the whole customizable theme, and the big rift between the rebels and the Empire. You can see like that the rebels are bumming it, man. That they don't have a lot, and they're making do with what they have, pretty much. Alright, that's it guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed.